Hello lovely peoples, Kitten here. This time of year, September, October, is traditionally a time when things are changing. The kids have just gone back to school after their long break. My daughter's just gone back to uni. People are looking at the free time thinking, oh, perhaps we'll get jobs, perhaps we'll do something different. The nights are drawing in, weather's changing, winter's coming, Christmas on the horizon. And all those circumstances are difficult for those of us with chronic health issues to manage all in one go. As you know, if you follow the channel, I've had a massive change myself. I don't have the shop anymore. I've had to work out how to manage my time, where my week's going, how I'm going to fit all this in, what we're going to be doing. So I thought I would show you and share my techniques, my ideal week plan, show you how I do things and what my thinking is. See if it gives you some help, some insight, might be useful to you, might give you some direction. The theory behind the ideal week is that it gives you the scaffolding to hang everything on. It's not, I have to do this, I have to do this, I've got to go through a checklist, I must do this. That's far too rigid. It gives you the overall plan that if everything worked well, this is what's happening, and if it doesn't work quite as well, then it gives you the space to build in to change it. Eddie's crying. Shh! I think I better just show you, hadn't I? Eddie's loving being at home, for those of you that know him. I was worried he'd miss everybody, but we bump into our friends occasionally. And he's really enjoying being at home. And he loves chatting to everybody through the window. Nice big scrappy bit of paper. Make no apologies for being scruffy, for just getting by. This is rough, this is getting the stuff out of our head. I always start my week on a Monday, just because I do, always have done. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We want a general overview of the week. What's happening, what's going on. If you work a 2-week shift pattern or something like that, you might work two bits of paper. This is completely built around you. Some things that are common every single day. We have mornings. We get up in the morning, we do our breakfast, we clean our teeth, we do all that kind of gubbins that goes on in the morning. Your times will suit your own lifestyle and family. What you're doing is up to you. But it's the same thing. That's a morning thing that happens. You have got some kind of lunch. Somewhere along the day you'll have a break at midday or somewhere. This isn't time sensitive. I need to kind of impress that on you. If you're tied to a school run, obviously you've got to get up in the morning, the kids have got to be ready, you've got to be out the door. You might have days when somebody else can do that for you and you don't have that responsibility, but you have other things to fit in. I'm struggling to get up in the mornings at the moment. I really am struggling. The radio comes on at 7:45 because I like to listen to the thought for the day, but I usually sleep through it. I try to be conscious 8:30 and get up 8:30, 9 o'clock. But then I do my routine. It's good to be consistent. I would like to get up early. I would like to get up at 8 o'clock and start my routines. But this bit isn't completely dependent on you. And then you have something in the middle for a break. You'll have your lunch. You might. I like to have a very early lunch. I think it comes from being in retail so many years. You have your lunch very early, before the people or after the people, and I like early. So I have a short morning, an early lunch, and then you will have some kind of evening going on. E-V-E. Spelled that wrong. You'll have an evening meal, whether it's an early one, if you've got kiddies, a later one if you're coming in late with a partner. Fairly simple plan like that happens. What happens in the middle is where you put blocks, work blocks, blocks of time, call it whatever you like. I don't know about you, but I find with my chronic health, my attention span is limited to about an hour. I like to, sometimes it's only half an hour, 40 minutes, and then you need to stop and regroup. So it depends how all this fits in. You might have two chunks there, and if you're going evening, and if you have a work or stuff you do in the evening, you might have a chunk in the evening. These chunks are where you can put what you need to be doing. If you've got an appointment regularly that you do every week, write it in. Tuesday morning, every single week, I do that. That's blocked out. That's what happens then. Same thing, anything like that, anything routine, anything regular, goes in this kind of space, places you need to be. If you've got things that you can group together to do on a day, Saturday is my cleaning day. I tend to do all my little routine chores cleaning on a Saturday. Friday is accounts and bookwork. Sit at my desk, do my accounts, go through everything. I do any video brainstorming, anything. It's all paperwork and accounts, that type of mindset. Wednesday, Thursday are going to evolve into more work days, video days, knitting days, pattern writing days, that kind of thing. If you can group it around a theme, you can save time. It's good to schedule yourself in a break there. It's good to schedule in. We have our afternoon walk there, literally round the block for 10 minutes. If you're tied to a till in a supermarket, you have less flexibility, obviously, but you can still tweak it within the system. If I'm sitting working, I get to a point where you naturally come to the end of a project, and then you can take a break before you move on. I might finish here. I think, oh yeah, I'll put the kettle on, have a cup of tea, do something before I pile into something else. When it gets to lunchtime, or whatever your midday break is, make it consistent and go and do something different. Even if it's only 20 minutes, don't shovel a sandwich down your throat at your desk or wherever it is and get straight back on. Step away from it. Let your head absorb the morning stuff. Let yourself relax, distract yourself. If you're sitting in front of a computer, take a walk around the block. This is where your knitting comes in handy. Sit and do your knitting for 10-15 minutes. Anything like that that's a bit different. You will find when you come back, you will be quite a bit fresher. It does make a difference. I'll show you I carry mine forward in my planner. Every month I have my ideal week. Mine looks like this because Sunday and Monday I'm not here. I'm away, I'm resting. This is a sleep day. I'm usually doing social media, I'm usually doing something or catching up with something, but these are break days, they're total rest days. So I have my morning when I get up and I have my morning routine. That's something different we can look at, is your ideal day, but your morning routine. You get up and you have your breakfast and you clean your teeth, all this kind of stuff. You get this out, you do that. You might have lunches to make, whatever. I have to walk the dog, that's my morning routine. That happens in the morning. And then I only have one work block here. I only have about an hour in the mornings where I sit and do some work. It's usually catching up with my journal, something like that. And then I have lunch. I will have a proper lunch, cup of tea. I'll take a break, I'll go and sit and do something. And then I come back and I've got 2 work blocks in the afternoon. This line is fluid. It might just be I do an hour, and then this is the afternoon round the block, 10 minutes round the block, and you come back. You will be amazed at the difference it makes if you finish a project, finish whatever section you're doing, and instead of going straight into the next thing, walk away. Take 10 minutes to just let your head settle after that, and you will come back much fresher to whatever project. I might do an hour and a half. I might be sitting doing some, these can be anything. I might be sitting doing some sewing or some dressmaking, and I'll be really in the groove, I'll be really going there. Come hour and a half and I'll finish a seam and I think, oh yeah, actually I'm at a point I can stop now. So I'm going to stop. We're going to have a little walk around the block and come back and do something different. Don't stop if you're in the middle of something. If you interrupt your head in full flow, it takes about, they've said, there's science for this, but if you stop doing something, it takes 20 to 25 minutes to readjust to get back into doing what you were doing before. So you're wasting your time and energy doing that. Finish your block, get to a point where you think, yeah, what am I going to do now? I've wound this up, I've finished writing all that. Actually, the best thing you can do now is take 10 minutes, go and have a cup of tea, go and have a glass of water, run up and down the stairs for 5 minutes, take a walk around the block. Anything that's different lets your head relax and settle. So for whatever your blocks are, and then you've got your evening routine, you're cooking your dinner, you're gathering everybody up, whatever that is, that's how that works. Some of you may then need to go on and have another work block or are doing something if you've got evening activities that you do or the kids do or somebody else does. You may need to build this in here. But having this basic framework, and again, tweak it to yourself, it's there to make it your own. These blocks can be anything. You could be at work, you could be doing sport, you could be take a block out and read a book. Weather's bad, you're feeling really tired, you don't know what to do yourself out. I'm going to use this block to have a rest and do some reading. There comes a point where you cannot push yourself into things because you just make more mistakes, trust me. You just make more mistakes. It takes you twice as long to put it right. This is what I mean by making it flexible. If you're working structured hours, you have to be there at that point, but there's got to be little gaps in the day that you can make tweaks. I worked for the railway for a good few years of my life, controlled by the factory clocks and whistles. But there's still little bits, I'm just going to pop to the loo and just going to go and, it's break time. Get away and have your break properly. It'll do you a lot of good. Your focus and your concentration will be much better. And if you have a crash day, you've laid all your day out, you've allocated, you could do this in the morning. You could have a sheet like this at the beginning of the week, and you can work out, you've got your solid things that you have to do, where you have to be. But you can say, I'm going to do my cleaning that day, so-and-so needs to go there to do that. If you find that a meeting is cancelled, you can't do that, you might be able to pick up something from somewhere else and do that instead. Or do something different. You're not stuck looking for things and not knowing where to happen, because you've got all this stuff that you can pull from. If your Thursday morning it's pouring with rain and you'd planned to go off and have a picnic, go for a walk, do the gardening, it's pouring with rain, can't happen. Then what else have you got coming up here that you can do instead? Or just say, well, I can't do that, so I'm going to work on that project that I haven't been able to do. I've got this thing I've been building, I need to paint the wall, I can use that block for that. And you can do that there without disturbing the rest of the week. It's an overall view. Put all your little hangers on to decide where you're going and how you're going to do it. What I'm hoping that I've put across is a more relaxed way you can think about your time and not feel quite as stressed and worried as to how you can fit everything in. If you've got an overall view and a plan, and you can understand how to swap things around, you don't get overwhelmed if something arises out of the blue, because you can bump your time block over. You're just about to do something, one of the kids is violently sick everywhere, everything has to stop, you've got to tackle that. But that doesn't destroy the whole day anymore. That doesn't wreck everything. It just takes that little block. Okay, can't do that, we're doing this. Whatever we were going to do, that'll fit in later. It gives you a more flexible approach to time. Personally, I find it gives me a structure to work things out, to fit everything in. I'm not one for just sleeping around and watching the television. I like to be busy and doing things with intention and purpose. And I find that this little way in has helped me enormously. So try it for the next couple of weeks. Make a plan, Sunday evening or Saturday evening, however you plan. Just make a few notes, do a few doodles. Look ahead to what's coming in the week. Think when and where you can do things to make the best use of your time. If you're going to do shopping, do all your shopping in that time block. Make a list, do all your errands in that time block. If you've got to go somewhere else to do something, do everything around that in that time block. If you need to make phone calls, I've got to phone so-and-so and so-and-so. Sit and make 2 or 3 phones, do everything together, all in that time block. Try and group it together and just see how it affects, if it gives you more freedom to relax, take your time and get a bit more time for yourself, get a bit more chilled, calm your head, settle your thoughts. That's the intention. Settle your thoughts and relax into it. Let me know how you get on, won't you? I'd love to hear from you.